All right, y'all. Let's do it. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Yo Absolutely Favorite Podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With Griffin,
Riffin with Griffin.
with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa!
Riffin with Griffin, baby.
All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. A little late today, but it is what it is. That's how we do it on these parts. Talking about a lot of stuff today. Tinder Swindler, Inventing Anna, NBA, Transgender Swimmer, what else? And PeaceMaker. Excuse me, and whatever else comes up. We out here doing it. I want to thank everybody for being here as usual. Please subscribe, share, and all that. And welcome back to Yes, Riffin with Griffin. We back again, y'all. But before we start with Riffin with Griffin, let me talk to you about EveryPlate. Where is it? EveryPlate. Shout out to EveryPlate. Experience full plates and fuller wallets with America's best value meal kit. Try EveryPlate for just $1.79 per meal. Go to everyplate.com and enter code Griffin179. All right, what's up, y'all? How you doing? Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. We out here doing it. We out here making stuff happen. I see you in the chat. Thank you. We're doing it live. We live in full effect. So, it is what it is. Lot to talk about today. Excuse me. What can I finish up with? Start with? Well, this past weekend, I actually went and did. Chris D'Elia was at the Brea Improv, and he was doing his Chris D'Elia and Friends. He asked me to go do it. I did it. It was like crazy. He sold out practically. He added a Sunday show. You know what I mean? It was sold out Friday, sold out Saturday, sold out Sunday. I even think the last show almost was a sellout, but it was but 2 shows on a Sunday? It was crazy. So his fans came out, and it was, I had a really good time with everybody out there. And, I don't know. Feel what you want to feel. Say what you want to say. I get it. It's like, I don't know what you want people to do. You know what I mean? The guy's my friend. I support him. He's going through a lot. He's in therapy. He made some mistakes. I don't think it was the things that people are saying about him, but he made some mistakes, and he's working on it. I mean, the guy's getting married. He has a 2-year-old son. Like I say, he's changed his life, and, I thought that that's what this country was all about. I think some people want people just to go away forever. There's no redemption. There's nothing. They just want people like, I believe this, and so that's true, and I want you out of the world, But, it just doesn't work like that when it's someone that you actually know. You know what I mean? I don't know what you want people to do. I don't know what you want me to do. There's always a call on the internet. There's always people are like, how can you support that guy that did such and such? And it's like, there's actually no evidence of any of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like if he was, it'd be different if my friend was being investigated. There was some sort of trial or there, you know what I'm trying to say? If there was some, there's none of that stuff. A lawsuit that was thrown out. People can think whatever they want to think, but as if it's someone if it's your friend, if it's someone you've known for 17 years, do you just turn your back? I don't think that that's true. If it were to turn out that everything is true, that would be a completely different story. I think everyone would have a completely different tune. That'd be something I'd have to be like, oh man, this sucks because my friend, but even still, that's my friend. And then, for your optics or whatever for the woke people out here that you have to whatever you have to go on the internet and say, which I don't think you really have to do, but it happens. But I just want to say, I think the guy's doing great. I think he's trying to, like I said, he's trying to change his life. He made mistakes. He'd be the first one to admit it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He was womanizing, cheating on his girl. He was, he just was living the lifestyle, and that stuff is bad. We've all made mistakes like that. I just don't think you should lose your life, your career, your livelihood over that. Because if we're going to start doing that, I just want to remind everyone, being an asshole is not exclusive to men. We all, men, women, non-binary, we all make those kinds of mistakes where we don't treat people the way we should. If we're going to start removing people from society for that, that's going to be a slippery slope. Now, if you're someone out there that the alleged victims, if you're close to those people and that's what you believe, I totally understand your venom. I get it, because it'd be like the same if it was someone I knew and I'm trying to support them. But as a friend of the guy, I don't know what else you want me to do other than I just have to support my friend and hope he, on his journey, it works out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. I had a great weekend. So that is what it is. All right, you know what? Let us get into it, guys. There's so much to talk about on the episode today. Again, like I say, you can find me on Twitch. I'm on Twitch daily. I'm going to be twitching, and this week I'm going to Ferris College in Michigan, and I'm also going to be in Vancouver it's a special place. Vancouver, you go to my website, erikgriffin.com. You can, if you're in not Vancouver, I'm so sorry, Calgary. If you're in Calgary, I'm coming to Calgary. So make sure you check that out. Okay. All right. So, excuse me. Like I say, let's get to it. So, I hope you like my space. Is the space nice? My, for you people listen. Oh, and thanks to everybody that listens to the podcast too. All you audio listeners, I support you too. And also, actually, all the people on Patreon too, guys. Excuse me. Damn it. Every time I get on here, I start coughing. I think I'm allergic to something in my room. I got to vacuum the floor or something. But anyways, I am doing bonus content on Patreon, so make sure you check out my Patreon. It's just Erik Griffin on Patreon. I don't have a lot of people on there, so the people that are on there, I really appreciate you, and I'm trying to build that up so I can really almost as if I'm doing a second podcast, but it's just on Patreon. So, look out for that. Thanks a lot, guys, for the support. Let's see. Okay, so let's get into what I wanted to get into first today, and that is basketball, the NBA, guys. NBA. So, they had the All-Star break, and the slam dunk contest was garbage, and, whatever. The game was it is what it is. Steph Curry had 50 points. He was 16 threes. The guy was balling. It is what it is. I mean, I don't really care about the All-Star game anymore. There's nothing, because these stars aren't like the stars of old, but maybe I'm just old. So, you guys that love the young players, you might be like, this was great. And it seemed to be a very entertaining thing, but I kind of lost interest, and I didn't even watch All-Star Saturday. I thought it was kind of cool that Townsend won the three-point contest as a big man, but other than that, it was whatever. But I never got to talk about this James Harden, Kevin Durant trade. This is all the NBA talk right now, okay? As you know, in the beginning of the year, last year I was talking about, could this work? I didn't think it was going to work, and here it is. It didn't work. It just did not work. These guys only played 16 games together total. Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Three sort of divas, if you really think about it. Just starting with Kyrie Irving from Duke. So here's the things about Kyrie Irving. Hello, CC Moon. Thank you for the super chat. So Kyrie Irving, he got hurt at Duke his freshman year, never really played at Duke. He got drafted into the league. From there, he was on a really bad Cleveland team. Nothing was happening with them. Then LeBron James comes, changes everything, but then they fall out. So he falls out with LeBron James, doesn't want to be there anymore. He goes to Boston. He totally messes up the chemistry there. That doesn't work. Then he has to go to the Nets. And while he's at the Nets, it ain't working. And then there's the pandemic. So then during the pandemic, he also was like, I'm not going in the bubble. He didn't want to go into the bubble. So then he was out there. Then Kevin Durant comes to the Nets. They trade for James Harden, and you think, oh, wow, this is going to be the thing, right? It doesn't work out. Once again, in the championship, Kyrie Irving gets hurt. I think he's lost himself 2 championships because of injury. For sure, Cleveland would have beat Golden State if Kyrie Irving didn't get hurt. And even if Kevin Love didn't get hurt, just one of those guys, they beat Golden State, and the whole face of the league would have probably changed. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Golden State doesn't have that wherewithal to now go and win the championship the next year and win 73 games, even though they lost. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they don't even, because they didn't win the championship, they have no confidence, and they don't go on to this magical 73-win run. And, maybe Cleveland goes back-to-back, and we're talking about LeBron James in a completely different way just because of Kyrie Irving's injury. So they lost that championship, okay? They come back, they win. He's healthy, they win. All right. Then, anyways, and so then you have last year. Last year, they're beating the shit out of Milwaukee, okay? With Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant playing mostly because James Harden was hurt. So he wasn't really giving you a lot of minutes. And they were beating the brakes off Milwaukee. Kyrie Irving gets hurt. You know the rest. Milwaukee goes on to win the championship. So it's like, damn, Kyrie, can you stay healthy? Him and, what's his name, Anthony Davis from the Lakers. Same thing, man. He's just injury prone, all right? But then you have this other thing with Kyrie Irving. It's the head case stuff. He says he's got some personal issues, but he's at a party. You know what I mean? He's always like, oh, I can't play because of this reason or that reason. And now he's like, he don't want to get vaccinated. And so now New York has this stupid rule, by the way. I don't agree with him, and I don't agree with New York. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. He is young and healthy. I think if he got COVID, he would survive it. Does he have pre-existing conditions and all that kind of stuff? Who knows? So he's just saying, I don't want to take it. Okay, I can respect that. But that's part of being a head case. You know what I mean? It's still part of the baggage. And now we're here. You find out him and James Harden don't get along. Boom. Now James Harden's gone. Then you have James Harden, who was with Oklahoma City. To me, when you look back at those Oklahoma City in the championship against against Miami, James Harden disappeared. He had a really bad game, and he just disappeared. That's when him not showing up in the playoffs started. It was there. They don't want to pay him, so he leaves. They send him to Houston. He becomes a star, but he can't close. He can't finish in the playoffs, and that becomes his rep. He can't finish in the playoffs. All right? So then that's the thing that's a cloud over his head. Then, Dwight Howard comes. They can't finish it. Chris Paul comes. He can't play with him. What's his name? Russell Westbrook comes. He's a whole other issue, but still clashing with James Harden. It doesn't work. Now James Harden is like, I don't even want to be in Houston anymore, and he sort of bullies his way out. That coded drama. From all reports, James Harden wanted to go to the Sixers, but they didn't want to do business with Daryl Morey, so they did this Nets deal. I don't think he ever wanted to be there. Head case. Then you got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, who, when he was at Oklahoma City, star, fighting with Russell Westbrook. That was a thing. They didn't get along. Kevin Durant him too. Him and James Harden, same kind of thing in those. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. I've showed the numbers and everything. Like he didn't have the greatest finish in the championship against LeBron James. All right, but when he was Oklahoma City, and then they play Golden State. They're up 3-1. They lose. And then he leaves Oklahoma City and goes to the greatest regular season team. And then he goes on to win 2 championships. Head case. Decides I don't want to be in Golden State anymore. Goes to the Nets. All right. So now he's here with the Nets, and he's injured all the time. I'm just telling you guys right now, Kevin Durant's best days are probably behind him. He recovered from a really terrible injury, but he is always injured. He has not played he misses 20, 30 games for the last 3 years in a row, okay? He didn't even play during I'm saying 2 years. You know what I mean? So he may, and now he's hurt again, and they're waiting to see. He may never be the same, man. Him, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, these superstar guys, but they keep getting injured. I don't know if Kevin Durant will ever be the same. Hopefully he does, so we can really see some really good competition. But I'm starting to think that that's it for him, man. That's it. So now you have those three head cases, right? Now James Harden once again decides I'm gonna leave. I don't know why Kevin Durant is mad about it. Why you mad, bro? Like, you know, in the All-Star selection thing, he kind of had a little bit of an attitude about James Harden, right? Why? Remember when you left Russell Westbrook? When you guys had a great team, you were up 3-1 and lost, I was looking for you to come back and redeem yourself. No, you decided to leave. Then you went Golden State. You decided to leave. So, like, you should have been like, good job, James. Shake his hand like, I totally get it. I'm out. Right? So, you know, James Harden now, he goes to the Sixers. Then you got Ben Simmons on the other side here. Ben Simmons, complete head case. Again, from all reports, his scouting report when he was coming into the league, and I'm just getting this information from a few NBA websites and then watching a lot of sports talk stuff, you know, that he always was somebody that didn't work hard. He was always like somebody that you had to really challenge to get the best out of him. So here he is now in Philly, a hard city to play in. You know, you always see they booing their own team and shit like that, right? So you got this guy, head case. He ain't getting along with Doc Rivers and not getting along with Joel Embiid. And I'm iffy on Doc Rivers too, man. Doc Rivers might be the most overrated coach in history, okay? He had Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, and they won one championship. And they won that championship because of frickin' Kevin Garnett was like, I'm not going to be denied. But they went 7-game series the whole way. And then they never got back to the championship. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. So you have to deal with that. So you got Doc Rivers, who's not good with stars. Trust me, I had Clippers season tickets. I saw it. He something happens with stars. Doc Rivers is great with like those like mid-level guys. He gets the best out of them. But when it comes to like superstars, they start bickering, and so the same thing happened here, right? So now Ben Simmons is claiming, you know, mental health issues. And listen, I'm neither here nor there with this. That's probably a whole other nuanced discussion about what you should do about mental health. It's like playing hurt, right? You know, they're all hurt. You play hurt. Can you play with, you know, should you even be playing if your mental health can stop you like that? Should you be in $1 million contract then? I mean, it's just something to think about. And then there's people that don't believe him. There's people that think he's faking the mental health so he can try to get his money. That's a narrative that's out there. But regardless, he's a head case. He a prima donna. Now he's with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I don't see that working. Those three guys are that's like the most dramatic team. It should be the New York drama queens. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So that's how I feel about that. You know, so we will see. And in terms of the trade itself, I feel like can James Harden get his act together? Can he finally get over the hump? You know, and because now he got this superstar in Joel Embiid, who also gets hurt a lot. Let's hope he don't get hurt. Can like Joel Embiid carry him to be like get the best out of him, and then they can go on? Because now the East is wide open. So I really like that. I love that it's Milwaukee looks good, Miami looks good, the Nets look good. But anyways, you know, it's weird. But we'll see. So right now I'm pulling for the Sixers though, because I went to a small high school, so I was a big man, even though I'm only 6'3". So I'm partial to the big man. I went to big man camp when I was in high school. That's how, you know, it was funny because when I was at big man camp, everybody was calling me little man. So that was funny. So I'm always partial to big man. So I would love to see the Sixers do it, you know, because I think Joel Embiid is really good. You know what I mean? All right. Let's get to next on the list, baby. Next. Now, this is the next discussion we're going to have is we're going to be delicate and we're going to be, you know, we'll have a simple, nuanced discussion about Leah Thomas, the transgender swimmer in the Ivy League. Okay? So I wanted to talk about this. First of all, I feel bad for the woke people. I really do. You know, I want to laugh at them. I want to be like sort of facetious about how crazy it is, how unenlightened they can be about certain things. But this is actually sad to me, because if you're a feminist, and you could be a man too, whatever, you know, male, any man can be a feminist. If you're a feminist, but you're also woke, your brain is going crazy right now because you don't know what to do with this situation. Okay? So let's talk about it like this. So I'm going to talk about it like this, as sensitively as I can. So you have a woman, we're saying, a woman born in a man's body, has decided to shed as much man stuff as she can so she can be presented as a woman. All right? And now that person is now competing against natural born women and demolishing them at sports. And it's happening in other fields. The problem with woke people is they can't have a nuanced discussion. Everything has to be extreme. So as I'm talking about this, there's a contingent of woke people who think I'm transphobic because I'm talking about this. I'm not. This is nuanced. There's details and context that is important to bring to the discussion. But if you're one of these woke people that like, you don't want to do that, because if you start to do that, if you add context, details, nuance, if you start adding that, you will realize how closed-minded you really are. And they don't want that. Their brains are going crazy. And if you're like a female feminist who's also trying to be supportive, I know this is messing with you. It has to be. Because you're sitting there going like, oh, the women are getting beat by someone who used to be a man. And you don't want to be mad about it, but you are. Let's be honest. You are. And I think that's fine. I think that it's so fresh and new what is happening that we don't know. These things, these people are blazing a trail. And we're not, and it's moving so fast, we're not caught up to it yet. I mean, come on, man. I am not being a hater or being hateful or saying anything wrong by saying, yo, this was a man with man muscle body type, and is now competing in sports against women. And we already know that men are stronger, faster, more athletic than women. What are we doing? Why can't we just talk about it like that? I want this person to live a happy, fulfilled life. But it's a privilege to play sports. Not a right. It's a privilege. So you are now living your truth. Maybe you don't get to play sports anymore until we figure out how we're going to do it. Maybe you do it for fun, as a hobby, down at the YMCA or down in like the swimming park league. I don't know what kind of, but not on a national Olympic type scale where records are being broken. That's unfair to me. And why can't we have a discussion about it like that without people coming at you thinking, oh man, you hate transgender people? And then the transgender people have been so persecuted, they've been hated on for so long that they're like cornered rats. So they have to attack all the time. We have to find some compassion on both sides so we can sit down and have a discussion about it without it turning into something that it's not. But it's like, I know women are not, because they got on J.K. Rowling for talking about this, taking a stance, right? And then they canceled her like, oh, you're transphobic. But now people are starting to go, oh, you know what? I'm not transphobic because I find this to be a problem. And I think women, if you're being honest with yourself, you got a problem with this. You got a problem with this, you know? And you're not a terrible person because you have a problem with this. We're not terrible. We're just trying to figure this shit out. We're just trying to figure it out. And I think that if we have some nuanced details with context and compassion, we can talk about this and figure it out. Because maybe it's like, all right, the transgender, like, you know, like maybe it's like in golf where like, you know, the woman's tee is like further. Maybe you have to figure out some sort of algorithm where we go, all right, this is the average time of men. This is the average time of women. And you figure out some point in there where, you know, okay, if it's a transgender athlete, they get docked this amount of seconds. So we can somehow level the playing field so it feels fair. We just want it to feel fair without the woke people who are so unenlightened. Guys, these woke people, and I feel sorry for them, honestly, I'm not being facetious, because they're being distracted. This is an issue that we should be talking about, but they're being distracted by the people that want to control the narrative. So they hit them with the like, well, you're being transphobic. And now the woke people have to be like, oh, am I being transphobic? Without no thoughts, no conversation. Like I say, it's nuanced. There's context. There's detail. The devil is in the details. If you leave all that stuff out, you're just left with feelings. We can't live like that. We have to be able to talk about things that are important without people making you feel bad about it or distracting you for their own purpose. That's what happens with obesity, man. Obesity, like sometimes we need to talk about obesity the way we talk about COVID. Like, because we are way past the Omicron variant of obesity. Like, we're at a dangerous level of obesity. But the food industry, the people that make sugar, the people that make fast foods, they want us talking about body positivity. So all the woke people feel like I'm being mean to fat people, to out of shape people, to unhealthy people. I'm being mean when I say, hey, we should do this. And no, then we got people on the internet like posting pictures of people's fat parts. Oh, look at this girl's fat belly. And we're supposed to be like, oh, girl, you beautiful, girl. You so beautiful. And we're getting distracted. We're getting distracted. These two things should be separated. It's nuanced. Yes, have confidence in yourself. I get that. But at the same time, we should also talk about health and safety in a real way. Like, we need to talk about taking care of ourselves so we can live longer. We need to talk about how obesity, heart disease is the number one killer in the United States. And one of the main causes of heart disease is obesity. Can we have a discussion where we're talking about this and it's not about how we're making fat people feel bad? And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's bananas to me. But that's how people are being distracted. They're being distracted with this woke movement. And like Pfizer and these kind of people, they're doing it too. They're doing it. They're instead of talking about like how much money they're making or whatever you feel about the vaccine, they're putting out things about like, oh, look at our employees. We have diversity. Like we're being distracted by diversity and body positivity and transgender, the transgender, like, being told that you're transphobic, like the transphobic movement. The transphobic culture that they keep putting on us just because we're trying to challenge, we're trying to be like, hey, this don't feel right. I don't care who you are. It don't feel right. You know what I mean? You could just look like when you just see pictures of this person, you go, that's a dude, right? Like that's your thought, just be honest about it. And so, and why do you say that? Because you're seeing dude stuff. Dude muscles and body structure and strong leg. You're seeing a certain, you know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because there is like, because even if you see like a bodybuilding female, you know what I mean? They're still like the fastest woman in the world is not faster than the fastest man in the world. So even if a woman is like, you know how you ever see like a chick who's like, you're like, damn, she buff as hell. She still can't compete with a man on when you level the playing field like that. So we look at, our eyes are telling us, hey, this don't feel right. But the people that want to make you feel like you're transphobic are making you like, you're like, oh, yeah, I guess I have to be supportive. We can be supportive, man. We can be supportive of this person's life. Live your truth. Good for you. You are now out in society presenting yourself the way you always knew you should be. But that don't mean you have the right to compete in a sport where clearly there's an advantage. I'm done. We're done with that. Okay. All right, guys, let's now get to the reviews. All right, let's get to the reviews of stuff. First, I want to talk about this cat, dude. What's up with this dude? Have y'all seen the Tinder Swindler? All right? The Tinder Swindler, man. I mean, this dude. His name's Simon Levive or whatever his name is. Man, dude. I don't know how I feel about it, if I'm being honest. Can I have an honest, nuanced discussion about this? I don't know how I feel. There are super lonely, needy people out there who are just looking for love and can't find it. And it's a shame when a manipulative, narcissist, con artist gets in their life. Let me make it even personal to you, man. I remember when I was a kid, my mom was a single parent, okay? So, when your mom's a single parent, she's like in her, mid 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, and even when she got into like late 30s and I'm like, however old I was, she's still trying to date. She out here trying to do it, And so I remember my mom was telling me she like started dating some guy and I hadn't met him yet. And the guy was big about like not meeting me yet or something. But even as a kid, I started to be like, ooh, this don't sound right. Because the guy was like sweet talker and then all of a sudden talking about, and these swindlers, they always have like a sob story, like their mother's dying of cancer or there's always something like that. So, and this guy was like, he's supposed to be independently wealthy. Here's my mom, single mom with raising a son, working her ass off so we can live the best middle class life we can, right? And here comes some Casanova dude who's like, I'm rich and I'm gonna take care of you and I'm gonna actually show you how to invest. And it just got weird where the guy was trying to get money. And it turned out he was a con artist. And my mom figured it out, because she saw like, people are sending flowers to this guy's father or mother. It was some story. I don't remember what it was. And then she figured out like, oh, 2 or 3 other women are trying to do the same thing. And then it just turned out to be a scam. But it's disappointing because when people pretend to be rich, they are selling a lifestyle. You know what I mean? They selling a lifestyle. And then like someone who's not lived that lifestyle is kind of like, they're like, ooh, I want to be like that. And I could tell my mom was like sick of working. She was like, I don't want to keep working. She's struggling. And you know what I mean? She's like, oh, here comes some rich guy that's going to help me. All I got to do is invest in his company. You know what I mean? It was like some bullshit. And she figured it out. We were done. And even I knew too. I was like telling her like, that don't sound right, Mom. It's like, I don't like this guy. And his whole game too was like, I'm going to make a perfume, your own perfume. And you know what I mean? I saw my mom getting ready. She was like, I'm going to have my own perfume and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, uh-oh, that don't seem right. You know what I mean? And so this is that kind of guy. So I'm making it personal. I'm not just clowning these women because my mom was one of those women or almost was. You know what I mean? So these guys, these women, but at the same time, I have a hard time feeling sorry. At what point are you giving a person you just met all your money? Like, what do they got to do? Like, is the dick that good? Like, is he slanging where it's like women are like, ooh, take all my money. You know, I don't get it. I mean, and the dude is like, you know what I mean? He looked like like him and I almost look the same. Can I be the Tinder Swindler? What up, y'all? I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me, so I got a poll up right now. You know what I mean? I don't know, but let me see the poll. Do you feel bad for the people he swindled? And it's like 61% of y'all saying no. And I totally agree. The dude's a monster, though, okay? I agree with you. The dude is a monster, right? Let's just be real. But damn, how am I supposed to feel? So I will say this. Moving forward, if any woman continues to get swindled by this dude, I don't give a blank about you, okay? When a dude got a documentary about him being a swindler and you still going out with him, he got game, son. Let's just, you know what? Let's just be fair too. Player can play, man. The dude got game because he still got it. He got a new girlfriend. It's like, what? So I don't know. It's very like, it's one of those documentaries that you watch and you just go, damn, this is a lot, you know? It's really, you really just, you don't know how to feel. So I do, getting to the review of it, I highly recommend watching it. It's a fascinating watch. You know, there's a part of you that just, you will sit there and be like, oh, this will never happen to me. And you feel sorry for people, and then you root for them, you know, because you're like, come on, girl, get him back. And then, like, after all that, right, millions of dollars swindled, and he go to jail for 4 months. I was like, and he already out. And then these women are still like, damn. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to hit them up. And like, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it is a very fascinating story, and I do highly recommend it. All right. Next on the list, we got Inventing Anna. Inventing Anna. Let me get everybody's name on here because I'm live, so I usually have these websites ready to go already. Inventing Anna. Julia Garner is the star. You know, she's in. She plays the old country ghetto girl in what's it called? Why am I forgetting the show's name on Netflix? Oh my god, I really feel old sometimes, dude. What's the name of the show? The Ozarks. Okay, so the Ozarks is good show, man. And she's really great, you know. And it's also like a good thing to like Google what this is really about, because it's loosely based off a real girl, this real woman who became a socialite in the New York area and like convinced people to give her money, convinced her that she was like some German heiress and that she had all this money. And it was just a fascinating display of con artistry. You know what I mean? And she's actually playing. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they don't like her accent. But, I don't know what a German accent sounds like, the way to me, she feels like she's doing a good job. Maybe people in Germany are like, oh, this is terrible. But, I think she's doing a good job. She's a great actress. She's already won 2 Emmys for Ozarks. And everybody else in the show is doing pretty good, too. Anna Chum, whatever her name is, Anna Chum, she's doing great. Laverne Cox, transgender actress, doing great. I guess we didn't have to say that, but I just want you to know she's doing great. She was in Orange is the New Black, doing a great job. And Anders from Workaholics is also in it, and he's doing a really great job too. I had to shout him out, like, Anders killing it on that show, man. So, shout out to the makers of Inventing Anna. But yeah, because like apparently it's based off like a real person, based off this true story of Anna Sorokin, and she like had some fake name, and and she posed as she fooled New York high society, and it's like. It's all about like the fakeness of that is great. Like she faked it. She played the part. She looked the part, and then she actually fooled all these people. And it's like a real chick, man. And when you see the real girl, you just go, how did this girl do this? Because they got somebody because even the actress herself, she's pretty, but she's no supermodel. You know what I mean? Because they make reference to this in the show a lot, where she's like, they say like, I don't know how she did this. She's not that great looking. Like that's the reference they're trying to make. And like when you see the real girl, you just go, damn, how did this chick pull this off? But she got it, man. It's like there's something about charisma and that moxie and that it factor. Like the girl got the it factor, and I think that the actress playing her really, I think she portrays it very well. So, I don't know. And I believe that the girl, I believe she's in jail. I think she's currently in jail because she was like, it was like, bank fraud. Like she was doing some crazy stuff. Like, I don't even know if like what she did can actually even be done. Cause like there's a part in the movie where let's say it's Bank of America. So like I'm with Bank of America. So let's say I go to Bank of America and I deposit in one branch. I deposit $10,000 in the branch. So they put it in my account, and let's say because I have a high value account, they say, all right, okay, the money's instantly available. Then she goes to another branch, but there's no money. She writes a check that has nothing in the account. So she writes a check for $10,000. They post it to the account like she has $10,000. Then she goes to another bank and withdraws $10,000 in cash from her own account. That's the kind of stuff this chick was doing. I mean, I was like, damn. So I think they've since changed things, because people got fooled so much. I just have no idea. But like I say, this was it's a good show. I do highly recommend you guys watch it. And see how it ends. All right. Next up on the list, guys, is the show The Peacemaker. I finally watched Peacemaker. People have been telling me to watch Peacemaker for a while now, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I'm telling you right now, Peacemaker is fantastic. I mean, this is such a fun show. And I think what I like most about it, what I like most about it is that it's like rated R. You know what I mean? Like I like adult humor. So this show reminds me of like how we used to make movies 15 years ago, where, we weren't like worried about all these things that we're worried about, even though these things happen in society, we're trying to portray them on the screen. Everybody's like, oh, you know, you can't treat women like that. You can't treat minorities like that. You can't have violence. You can't, you know. And this show is just kind of like, go fuck yourself. We're going to do this. And I really like it. John Cena is like, that dude is funny. Okay? He's just funny in this show. The show's even funny. The intro of the show is freaking funny. They did this dance thing. That's funny. Yeah, so if you know about Suicide Squad, so this is like playing off the last Suicide Squad. So and they make reference to that movie a lot, and they even show clips from it. So this is like, you know, so if you saw the last Suicide Squad, Peacemaker was a part of the Suicide Squad, and now he's like trying to, whatever, the events of Suicide Squad have happened, and now he's trying to just get back to normal, and it's his story, okay? And it's really funny. You know what I mean? It's just funny about him and his father, that relationship, and then the other people in the show and how they interact with him, and he's just like the most inappropriate guy, man. It would be like if Michael Scott on The Office had superpowers, or if he was like a big, gigantic guy. He's kind of like that. He just is inappropriate, and you know what I mean? And so I do recommend watching this show. And, yeah, this is I don't know what you're talking about in the chat about John Cena and China and all this. That's a whole other discussion. If you don't want to like him for that, I totally get it. That's totally your prerogative. But when I look at something, I try to be like, well, is that the character? It's kind of like, do you listen to R. Kelly's music anymore? I don't know. That's up to you. That's your choice. If you feel like you're supporting a guy because you listen to the music and you don't want to do that because he was convicted and he's in jail, I get that. But, like, you know, I don't know about this. Whatever John Cena did with China, it's like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you, I think the show's funny. And I think everybody in the show is doing a great job. And I like how, and it's a little woke, right? There's some woke elements, but they're handling it well. They're making it seem like this is seamless and a part of the show, as opposed to like where you really look at the thing and go, why is this casted this way? You know what I mean? The way they do it in this show, it's really well done. And, you know, I like it. You know what I mean? So, I didn't even give my woo-woos for everything. So we'll just do them all together. So Tinder Swindler, Peacemaker, and what's the other one? Inventing Anna. I give all these shows 5 woo-woos. Whoa, 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 All right, so all those things get all those woo-woos. So like I say, I highly recommend you guys watch all the things we said. And, you know, if you have something that you want to, like, comment about, please try to comment with some compassion. Like have a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't attack me personally. Just freaking, if you have something to say about, especially the swimmer thing, the transgender stuff, you want to talk, you want to get into a discussion about it, let's get into a discussion about it. But, man, keep your, like, heightened feelings out of it, because that's not going to help. That doesn't help the situation at all. All right? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? And we're going to do it now because, damn it, it's supposed to be a mid-roll too. You know what? It is what it is. Whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is, guys. But you had me going, but we need to talk about EveryPlate, okay? So EveryPlate, sponsor of the show. They sent me, and I love it. I'm just telling you right now. Work smarter, not harder. Let EveryPlate plan, shop, and deliver everything you need to cook delicious meals. So they send you a box, and they have everything in there. I had some these like fancy quesadillas I got to make, and then there was like these like sriracha pork chop. You feel fancy. You feel like Emerald when you're cooking. So it really is good. They have all the quality ingredients you need. It come carefully packed and pre-portioned. And that's the best thing about this type of thing, is because when you go to the store and you want to make something, you don't even know how to make it. Like, you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, like, if you need an onion, you don't just buy one onion. You're like, let me get 6 onions. And then you're spending so much money. These kind of pre-portioned things, they're giving you exactly what you need just for that meal. So it's great. It really is great. It's easy to cook. You know, it's pre-portioned, and the price is absolutely amazing. Try EveryPlate for just $179 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code Griffin.179, not dot, Griffin179. So code Griffin179. Get started with EveryPlate for just $179 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code Griffin179. That's code Griffin179 at everyplate.com for just $1.79 per meal. That's up to $104 value. All right, y'all. I was supposed to do that commercial like a long time ago, but, you know, we're live and in full effect. You know, and I got nobody here reminding me. Oh, very funny. You know, Erik be eating every plate. You know what? You getting a timeout. I'm giving you a timeout, and I think that was funny. So that is what it is right there. But anyways, guys, I will be out of town. Come check my website, erikgriffin.com. You know what I mean? So you can, see where I'm at. I'm coming to a town near you. You know, make sure you guys, thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe, share. And again, remember, I'm also going to be doing way more content on the Patreon. So go to patreon.com/ErikGriffin and to get more episodes. And like, I'm interacting with the fans too. Like, if there's a show you want me to watch, you know, it's already happened. I already started watching a show that somebody recommended. So I'm going to watch it and then start and review it. So that's how we're going to do that. Also, check me out on Twitch. I'm going to go on Twitch in about 30 minutes. I'm washing some clothes right now because I'm leaving tomorrow, so I got to pack. So check me out on Twitch. I'm on Twitch daily, so that, you know, I have a lot of fun doing that. So be a part of that if you want to subscribe. And make sure when you go to the Patreon, or you can be a YouTube member and you'll get that content. All right. So YouTube member or Patreon member, you will get that content for Riffin with Griffin. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Once again, if you have some comments, you want to like hit me up, you know, let's have a, you know, nuanced, compassionate conversation about all the topics that we brought up. But once again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week. Riffin.